We have an injury on Steven Senepa. He's going to drop out of the tournament. So
Steven Senepa is dropping out.
Got a signal from one of his family members there. Something about his wrist.
Yeah, he must have hurt his wrist, yeah. So, Chris gets an easy win that time. You never like to see anybody go out that way, but sometimes, you know, you go in a couple of classes, it really takes its toll on you.
And I think Chris will take it. He'll take the win.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When you're in this stuff, you'll take them anywhere you can get them.
The flyweight class with Corey Stone and Vernon Weatherby.
Okay, we're going into the lighter guys now. We've gone through the heavier guys a bit, so we're going into the lighter guys. You know, we got Corey Stone coming up. He's from Beaverbank, and Vernon Weatherby, who's from Shubenacadie. These guys have competed quite a few times. I don't know if they arm wrestle each other. Put the favorite of Corey Stone. Vernon's given up quite a bit of weight. And we talked about the weight difference. Here's where it really makes a difference.
Quite a bit of weight and quite a bit of height.
Yeah. Vernon weighs in at about 115 pounds or 125 pounds or something in that. And Corey'd be weighing in right around 150. So, ready, go. You know, down here we don't have enough guys that are small enough to really make a weight class for the smaller guys, which is really too bad. Because when you go to the Nationals, you know, you've got the classes starting at under 110 pounds, 121, 132, stuff like that. Because you've got enough guys going in there from all across the country to make a class, but down here we're just not, everybody's gaining weight, I guess, and
we're growing them bigger.
Yeah, we're growing bigger, so we can't we can't really put up these classes to draw the people into. Hopefully we can get enough smaller guys out, then we'll take and create some of these classes. And Corey must decide to go a couple classes, because you see he's coming back up here again in the lightweight class. And he's going against Scott Johnson from Bridgewater. Scott's got a pretty good left arm. Oh, what is his left hand? I think he finished. He won 150 pound.
Well,
Corey's got him going.
Into the hook there.
And Scott won the provincials. Oh.
Got an elbow foul.
Elbow foul on Corey Stone.
Came right over the back of the pad.
Yeah. Scott Johnson won the provincials last year down in Bridgewater in the 150-pound class, so he's no slouch in there. I think Corey got over and thought he was going to polish him off, but no, he got him that time. Yeah, pretty good. Corey Stone took down provincial champion. I think Scott didn't get a chance to get in there to get his power in there. He's more of a stopping type guy instead of a guy that makes a hit off the top. He's more of a guy to try to catch and pull the guy back. But Corey didn't give him a chance to do that. You saw that in the first match before Corey got his elbow foul. That he caught him and started pulling him back, but there's no chance that time.
No, we'll just go to show you, though, the go is very important.
Oh, yeah.
Get hand advantage or arm position. It's very important off the go.
Yeah. The main thing I always look for is just going for control. You want to control the person's hand. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what position you're in. Even if you're in the losing position, you can still have control. So, you know, actually where I am on the table, I don't really care, just as long as I'm getting control of some kind.
It's an interesting matchup.
Yeah. Perry's giving up a lot of weight, but I still got to give the advantage to Perry. Although Randy was down here and he was practicing with Mark Stevenson. Mark was saying Randy's got a real good left on him. But again, you come to a tournament, go to practice, come to a tournament, it's two different things. But this could be interesting. You never know if Randy can stay up there with him.
You know, I haven't pulled against Randy, but I have pulled against Perry. And his left hand and left wrist are pretty strong.
Yeah. Now, what you see in there is... Oh, looks like we're going to have a strap. Oh.
So we have one foul.
One foul on Randy. What happened there, the reason they called him on that was because he caused the slip out. If you saw the way his hands were sliding back and sliding back, you've got to try to maintain your grip. Sometimes you can't do it.
Elbow foul.
Foul.
Foul apiece there. Now Perry got an elbow foul. Whether that was intentional or not, a lot of times Perry's elbow fouls are intentional if he
put his game face on.
Yeah. Oh, and Randy got him on that one.
Got him right off the go.
Yeah. That's a good left arm. Take down Perry like that.
I think I'm up.
Winner, Randy Snow. Next to us, Scott McGinnis and Kenny Snow.
Good luck. And Scott's going up here now against Kenny Snow, Randy's brother. I haven't seen, I believe these two pulled on the island about 2 years ago. And I think Scott beat him then, I'm not sure. But this could be an interesting match. Scott's been training hard, just comes down to practice every week. Scott and I train at the gym together. And he's gonna see how much this pays off now, his training. After not competing against the guy for quite a while. This is what you like to see. You want to see how much you've improved. You go, you practice, you lift weights, come to practice again, and you want to work on everything. Now you want to compete against a guy you competed against a long time ago. And it seems to have been paying off.
Winner right there, Scott McGinnis.
Scott took Kenny down there fairly easy, dropped Kenny down the B side.
Chris Scott and Mark Stevens.
Now we're heading into the left-hand open class. Again, this left-hand. Congratulations.
Thanks.
I was just saying, you competed against him a couple of years ago on the island, and and the training paid off.
Starting to. Here's hoping anyway.
Yeah.
He's really come along. His hand strength has really come along good. But it didn't seem like his wrist has come along as much as his hand.
Yeah.
And as you know, I've been working my wrist as hard as I can.
Yeah.
And it paid off there a little bit. Here's a good match, though.
Yeah, but
See, if
Chris is
get a little
really,
bit of advantage on the go, maybe he can hang with Mark a little bit.
But Mark is so fast at getting in that hook, and that's right where he's going to take him to watch. Mark will scoop him right up, unless he decides to try something different. But Mark will just try to suck him right into the hook and then pull him down. He's got that one move that works so well for him. You'll see him turn Chris's wrist right around on him. Go! Now, kind of went for a half hook, half top roll. He, instead of going straight into the hook or straight for the top roll, he just kind of took Chris's wrist straight out of the play and just pulled him over. And when Mark gets into his position, it's so hard to even touch him.
Well, Mark's training has really paid off over the past year and a half, 2 years. He's just having a great streak right now.
Oh yeah, and he's hopefully it'll cover right through to into the nationals. He is right now. He's right at the top. He's won Atlantic's right arm, left arm. He's been doing so good. So we shall see how he's going to fare. And we'll leave him back up again.
See what Rick can do against Mr. Senepaw here this afternoon.
Rick beating up there on the left-hand side from Sacco. Against David Senepaw.
Scott jockeying for hand position.
Go!
Foul on Rick, lifted his elbow.
One elbow foul on Rick.
Looked like it may have been an intentional elbow foul. Lifted that one right up off the pad. I think David had hand position on him, and Rick thought he could bail out fairly quickly. I think David's strategy here is just to overpower Rick.
Go!
Second elbow foul.
Second elbow foul on Rick Pinckney. Winner was David Senepaw.
So now, the first one looked like he bailed. He got hand position on
Yeah, he
after the
did.
goal.
Yeah, and the second time I thought I tried to hit him a little different, and that didn't work at all.
Next to us, Chris Scott
well.
and Terry Brown.
What to work on for next time. His wrist feels real good though.
He is a powerful guy.
Yeah. Weighs in around about 330, something like that, 340. But yeah, when he got it, cranked his wrist around, boy, you felt the power then.
Is that right?
Yeah.
As I was saying, his strategy with you was just to overpower you.
Yeah. Oh, and he definitely did that.
Wasn't going to be a whole lot of movement, just straight power.
Yeah. Yeah. He got his wrist in there. Couldn't deal with that. So now this, I think, Perry's got the advantage here. Chris Wright hasn't been, seemed to be like it's been up to snuff lately.
He's been up and down quite a bit lately.
Chris,
Last 6 months or so.
Yeah, some days he walks in, he's just pulling super. The next storm he shows up and he just doesn't seem like he's got anything in there. But You never know about Chris. You never underestimate him, that's for sure. Because those days when he is on, boy, he feels good.
And no one ever underestimates Perry.
No. Perry got his wrist in there, got him in the hook. And that's what Chris has actually been working on, his hook some, but he needs to work on it more off the start. He's good once he gets in there, but it takes him a while just to
yeah, he hasn't quite learned how to get in there right off the go yet.
Yeah. He's having a hard time with that. There's a match of the two Marks.
Yeah,
Mark
speed
Stevens
against the power.
Yeah, Mark Stevens, Mark McPhail. And I'd say the overwhelming favorite here is Mark Stevens. They were down to practice. We were practicing with Mark and showing a few things here a few weeks ago. And
there it is.
That wrist of Mark's is just hard to touch.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, it's really hard to touch. And once he gets it in there, then it's just a matter of pulling the other guy down. Even though Mark started to get his shoulder, even though Mark got his, McPhail got his shoulder in there, he didn't have the hand position or the wrist position to use it at all. Everything was outside his shoulder, so he couldn't use his shoulder power to pull down his opponent. You know, even though you get your shoulder in there, you've got to have the hand position and the shoulder position or the wrist position to use that shoulder.
Do you ever, even at practice, I pull against Mark Stevens, and he'll let me lay on top of my hand, so it gives him more of a workout.
Yeah.
And he's tough to pin, even with my my body weight laying on top of my arm. He's still tough to pin.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's definitely got the power in there. Oh, looks like David's back up here again. We're getting close into the quarterfinals here. Perry's doing her announcing and her draw sheets, writing like crazy before he gets up there.
Yeah, and pulling again.
Yeah. This is a match Steven wants, or David wants rather. These two have pulled many times before. Perry's usually come out on top of him.
Has he?
Yeah. I've come out on top of him before too, but not today.
Not today.
Not today. So let's see what Perry goes. Perry's watching to see where other people go, so he'll watch to see what, sit back and watch to see what's going on. No, he couldn't deal with David's wrist either.
Not at all. Pulled Perry's wrist right out. Perry has a really strong wrist.
Yeah.
Pulled it right out.
Winner, David Turnbull.
I said earlier, it's a game of leverage. Yeah. Okay, I guess we're taking a short break here. We're into the quarterfinals, and we'll be back at the quarterfinals. We'll move into the finals.
What's up? Who's hot? Where's the latest action spot? Hints and tips, did you know? Milestones and local heroes. Sports, shorts, event reports, news you'll use of every sort. Celebrations and on location.
Plugged In, the TV show with what you want to know, what you need to know, and what you'd like to know about what's going on in your town this week.
Get plugged into your life, plug into here and now.
Get plugged in on your local cable station.
These are the fortunate ones. There are now 1.2 million refugees crammed into Macedonian refugee camps, with more arriving all the time. Sunday, May 23rd, Access Channel 10 will be carrying live from the Moncton Coliseum the Care Canada concert and telethon for Kosovo via TVNB. So join us Sunday at 7 on Access Channel 10. That's when the music begins, and your support makes the difference.
Okay, we're going to go into the middleweight class now with Chris Johnson and Trevor Weatherby.
We're going to go into the middleweight class here with
Chris is going to be back up with Trevor Weatherby.
Trevor Weatherby.
So this is the middleweight class. This is up to 180 pounds. And Vernon Weatherby's up in class here, or Trevor Weatherby, sorry, he's up in class. He's going against Chris Johnson. He's given up a fair bit of weight here in the middleweight class.
Doesn't Trevor usually pull in the flyweight class?
Yeah, he normally pulls in flyweight, but he's looking at the nationals and stuff like that. He wants to get all the practice in he can, so he wants to go against the bigger guys because he knows how tough the competition's going to be. So, geez, he's holding on good.
Oh,
Winner right there, Chris Johnson.
Chris Johnson, strong boy. Chris actually won the provincials in the 165-pound class. Now going back to the flyweight class with Chris Johnson and Corey Stone.
Chris Johnson or Scott Johnson?
Scott Johnson.
Scott Johnson this time.
Okay, we see Scott Johnson chalking up, and we're waiting for Corey Stone. You got 1 minute to show up to the table.
We're looking for Corey Stone.
If you don't show up with him, here he comes
taking
now.
his shirt off.
Taking his time. You get that 1 minute. If you don't show up within that 1 minute, you lose the match. You don't want to lose that way.
Right arm there.
And this is the flyweight class, under 150 pounds. Corey's back up here again. And the loser drops down to the B side to meet Vernon Weatherby in the semifinals. And the winner goes directly into the finals. So we've got Scott Johnson up there in the white shirt, left-hand side from Italy Cross down Bridgewater Way. And Corey Stone, who was just up here a few minutes ago from Beaverbank.
Go!
This could be a good match.
Both guys inside.
Well, Corey looks like he's
Good
got him
pull.
going, but Corey's stretching out. Oh,
One elbow foul.
we got an elbow foul on.
One elbow
Scott
foul on
Johnson.
Scott Johnson.
Scott, that's one tough thing sometimes, you know, you get excited, you're going for the pin, and you move
Looks
your
like
elbow
the
off the
bull
pad.
is
You
here to
gotta,
cheer these
that
guys
elbow
on.
has to keep contact with that pad all the time. The only time it's allowed to come off
Italy
is
Cross.
if you're riding on your
Corey
tricep,
Stone
but
from
the
Tui.
end of your elbow still has to be within the perimeter of that black pad.
Go! Winner.
And he's got him that time. Comes Mark. Mark's from River Denny, Cape Breton, and actually these guys don't live that far away, about an hour away from each other. Trevor Senepaw, he's from Escazone. These guys travel a long way to be here today. And Mark's in the white, Trevor's in the blue. And you see, well, Trevor's changing his mind on the way he's going to
Super
pull.
heavyweight class, 201
Said he
and
sees
over.
Mark, he probably knows the way Mark hits so fast, and he wants to get in there, and what he wants to do is pull Mark back away from his power. Whether he can do that or not.
Go!
Oh, they're in good.
All right.
Yeah. No, we got an elbow foul on Trevor.
One elbow foul on Trevor
That's probably the
Senepaw.
best thing that happened to him right there, because he was definitely going down. Mark kind of
Escazone.
hit in there to where he wanted to be, and then
Fail.
reloaded and went for the
River
kill.
Denny.
So we'll see if he can do this one again. Loading up, so we got one foul one.
Expect
Trevor
Mark to come right back again
Yeah,
inside
he's going
again.
to do the same thing. You see the way he's lined up his shoulders. He's got that one shoulder dropped. He's getting ready to hit right inside again. Whoa.
Pulled him right out of that inside move.
And yeah,
We're going to strap these guys
that was a
out.
really smart
Right
move
there.
on Trevor's behalf. That was a really, really smart move. He saw that he couldn't take and hold him inside, so, well, we'll go the other way. And he went for the top roll, peeled Mark's wrist straight out before they slipped out. So now they're going to put the straps on him. Once you put these on, there's no give then.
There's no slipping out now.
It's going to be hard to say who the advantage is going to go to with these. If Mark decides to do the same thing again, and so does Trevor, the advantage would definitely go to Trevor.
Does experience have anything to do with the straps now?
Oh, yeah. A lot of people don't like the straps just because it restricts your movement so much. And I think that really intimidates a lot of people. So, you know, and they get scared when they get in there, and the least little bit of hesitation or something like that means the difference between winning and losing.
We're all
So, I
strapped
mean,
up and
actually, the
ready
more you
to
get in the
go.
straps, I don't know, I like being in the straps, actually. You know, the person can't get away from you then, you know.
Take your
So
Nowhere
word
to
up.
run.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, it appears Mark's going to try coming inside again.
Go! Was it Fred struggling there?
Chance coming inside.
Oh, Mark's got him coming
Cheer these
back.
guys on. What a pull.
Well, second elbow foul. Winner Mark
Second
fail.
elbow foul on
That's a
Trevor
tough way to lose.
Senepaw.
Trevor did a good job of
Wins
keeping him from
that
going
one.
that inside move, though.
Yeah. He'll be back, I think. You'll probably see Trevor back up here.
Right
going in
hand
the
open
finals.
class on the B side. Mark McPhail and David Senepaw.
Mark decided to
may
go
have
in
to
two
go through the whole
classes, so
family
now
here
he's
today.
gonna. This is where you pay the price. Going in two classes.
Back-to-back match. It's got to be tough on your arm.
Yeah, especially with the guy he's coming up against now. I think David's going to look for a little revenge for his brother here. It's that David Senepaw there on your right-hand side. Dave's looking real good these days. These guys have been training really well. It's a hard go with dealing with Greg and Mark because of their wrist. But
Dave's right up there with all the top guys, though.
Yeah.
As far as the
his
ability.
He finished second to
Mark McPhail up
the
there on your
Atlantics, and he
left.
beat Mark
David
once.
Senecal on your right.
This could be
He's
interesting.
scared to cheer
Whether,
those guys on.
you know. Now there's what that is just wrist power.
Winner right there.
David's wrist just
Senecal.
overpowered Mark's,
Now,
and Mark
we're
just
on to the
once you lose your
A-side
wrist
with
out like
Greg
that,
Harnish
and
and
with the
Mark
strength
Stevens.
that David has, there's just no coming around it.
No, it just didn't seem like Mark could do anything.
No.
Tried a couple different things. Nothing worked.
Now, David had complete control of the match, and when you've got that kind of control, then there's not much you can do. You know, when you're on the other side. Now this.
Here we go.
Yeah. This one I'd never call now. Before, you used to be able to say
scared
no
to cheer
call,
these guys
Greg,
on.
but Mark is
Harnish
just.
on your right. Mark Stevens on your left. Winner right
Winner,
there.
Greg Harnish.
Greg Harnish. A little revenge from the Atlantics.
Right off the go,
Yeah.
Greg had his way the whole match.
Yeah.
Left
He
hand
got him out.
lightweight class.
He knew,
Chris
he didn't-
Johnson and Corey Stone.
Greg knew he had to polish Mark off right away because he didn't want Mark to get back in, get his arm in there, and for Mark to start cranking back. Because Greg stretches himself out so much when he pulls, because he gets right down under the table, as you saw there. And when he does that, if he gets stopped, then he's in trouble.
So it didn't seem in this particular match, Mark never had any chance to regroup and try and use any of that power he possesses.
No, it's
Looking for
it's one
Corey
of these
Stone,
things
this
where, you know,
left-hand
it's so
lightweight
you're so
class.
close, but you're so far away. You know, if you could just stop a person. I mean, if is the big word here, but you really have to be right on the go when you're talking. You know, when two guys are so close.